if I follow those rules, I'm supposed to kill them now. I'm supposed to hurt them for not following instructions in front of people.
We were screaming G-Unit.
Yeah.
You know, what goes on with G-Unit now?
Well, people grow. They grown.
What separates those who go under and those who rise above adversity is the strength of their will and their hunger for power. Do you recognize this iconic line? If yes, then you are truly a G-Unit fan. G-Unit has certainly seen some rough times, but if you're here, it means they still hold a special place in your heart like they do in mine.
This rap shit is so easy. I'm getting what you get for a break.
Do you know everything about their rise and fall? Let's dive in to see how far G-Unit has come from where it started and what rough times have forever altered them.
This is the G-Unit? Get out of here.
It's the G-Unit.
Fans who are holding their breath thinking G-Unit will come back to life should definitely exhale. In a conversation with the host of the Breakfast Club radio show in 2022, 50 stated why he would turn down the chance to work with his former collaborators. "I doubt I'll work on a project with them. I'm tired of hauling them around. My back hurt," he explained. 50 Cent, Yayo, Banks, and Buck last played together in 2014 at Hot 97 Summer Jam. While there have been episodes of enmity between 50 and the others, Yayo is an exception to this approach. But before we get to that, let's get back into the history and see where it all started.
My baby mama cussed my ass out. I kicked the ass. We back friends like Puffy and Steve Stout.
G-Unit, short for Gorilla Unit, was an American hip-hop trio created by East Coast rappers 50 Cent, Tony Yayo, and Lloyd Banks. They were all raised in South Jamaica, a neighborhood in the Queensboro of New York City, and the same place where they all started to rap together as teens, and the same place where they eventually formed the group.
You go to the dealership, but you never got that. You been hustling a long time.
Just like 50 Cent was one of the core members of the G-Unit group, he also founded the G-Unit record label along with his manager Shaw Money XL right after the group was formed in 2003. This American record label specialized in hip-hop music like its founder. It operates as a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. But before that, it was a subsidiary of Interscope Records from 2003 to 2014. But the G-Unit group, unlike G-Unit Records, didn't stay intact for long.
When you broke, you feel like a boulder, don't it? Life's your opponent, watch the homies, you walk in your home.
Tony Yayo got imprisoned in 2002 for drug possession, and soon after, 50 Cent signed Tennessee-based rapper Young Buck to G-Unit Records, and later added him to the group. After that, G-Unit made their first big label debut as a group on the remix to 50 Cent's track Pimp, which featured Snoop Dogg, Banks, and the newly signed Young Buck.
I spit a little G-man in my gang, gotta.
Between the summer and fall of 2002, G-Unit released 50 Cent Is the Future, No Mercy, No Fear, and God's Plan. This was something revolutionary in the rap game. To put it into perspective, Jay-Z spent a year methodically curating a 12-song masterpiece that was very much in the mold of what was still dominating rock reviewers believed great artistry looked like.
The rappers be hating, hope the trap that I'm making, but all the hustlers, they love it just to see one of us making.
G-Unit demolished that notion, starting a new era of musical turnover that would come to define the genre of rap and what was expected of its rappers.
Respected honors, the ground will fall for neck of diamonds, shining. Plenty tried, don't got the time.
Interscope Records CEO Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre decided in late 2003 to have The Game collaborate with G-Unit in order to help develop a rising buzz around the game while simultaneously fueling interest in G-Unit. The Game made his first cameo appearance in 50 Cent's Into Club music video, where he is seen dancing with a female.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday.
Certified Gangstas, which also featured Jim Jones and Cameron, was the game's first single. Despite the fact that the single was not deemed mainstream, the West Coast rapper's popularity grew.
You don't want none, better run. When beef is on, I pop that trunk.
The album Beg for Mercy served as a platform for Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and Tony Yayo to release their respective debut albums, The Hunger for More 2004, Straight Outta Cashville 2004, and Thoughts of a Predicate Felon 2005, following the critical and commercial success of 50 Cent's major label debut Get Rich or Die Tryin'. TOS was the group's second album, published in 2008.
Outside, crazy motherfucking name Banco, yeah. Crack back. $1 million bankroll.
Their success was unbelievable and it seemed too good to be true. Unfortunately, it was. Things didn't stay smooth for members of the group for too long. What started as a meaningless fight rose to become one of the biggest feuds in the music industry.
When you see Game, do you say, yo, why are you talking about 50? You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him.
It all started when 50 Cent's second album, The Massacre, was delayed to help make room for the Game's first album. Aside from the feud between the two rappers, 50 Cent had dispute with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Levain of Interscope Records.
If you was in the studio with Dr. Dre, with his hit production for a year straight, why would you need 3 songs from me?
During a radio broadcast, 50 Cent said that the Game was gone, and when the Game attempted to re-enter the radio station that night, one of his buddies was shot in the leg by a security officer. The other members of G-Unit exited the station through the back door. 50 Cent also claimed that he was not given his full credit for copyright for composing 6 songs from the documentary.
I don't hear people say, you're really here because of 50 Cent. Like, we know you because of 50 Cent.
Since 50 Cent formally fired the Game from G-Unit in 2005, over 100 diss tracks have been produced in what quickly became one of hip-hop's longest feuds.
They do it like I do it with no mask on. Nigga, get the fuck out of line, you getting blasted on.
The Game boycotted the group, which became known as G-Unit. He released a diss track titled 300 Bars and Runnin', to which 50 Cent retaliated by portraying Game as a Mr. Potato Head doll in the video for his song Piggy Bank.
Clickety clank, clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
The tracks began with diss track after diss track. When 50 released a duet with Eminem and Adam Levine in 2012, he included some rap lines dissing the Game, but it was quickly revealed that the song had been recorded 2 years earlier, and 50 maintained he had no ill will towards the Game. Regardless, the Game retaliated by releasing another hate track. You're probably sensing the pattern here.
Your time is up, nigga, I done warned you. You got the police with you, nigga, don't trip.
G-Unit startled everyone when they reunited for the yearly Summer Jam concert in June of 2014. 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck joined Kid Kid on stage. Needless to say, one man was absent.
If you get too hot, up in this spot, we on.
The beef seemed to have been squashed by the Game later on, and things seem to be quiet ever since. But are they going to stay quiet? No one can say for sure. But that's not the only beef 50 Cent had, was it? There was another one with Young Buck.
It became a point where it was getting so intense of how he was treating me and Shy.
In an interview with Shonda LaViste of Hot 97 FM in New York on April 7, 2008, 50 Cent revealed that Young Buck was no longer a member of G-Unit but was still signed to G-Unit Records. The reason for Young Buck's removal, according to 50 Cent, were problems with excessive spending and Young Buck's public claim of not being paid royalty checks, as well as inconsistent behavior from Young Buck, including showing up on stage with his previous Cash Money label mate Lil Wayne, then allegedly dissing him on records with G-Unit.
Why don't you be me for a minute so you can feel like you've actually paid a person to be your friend?
Young Buck replied to 50 Cent's charges with the song Taped Conversation on June 17th of 2008. Later in the song, the Game appears and takes jabs at 50 Cent, Banks, and Yayo.
Joke from the start, you a hoe, and I know the only people record conversations is 5-0.
TOS, Terminate on Sight, their second album, was released on July 1st of 2008. Young Buck was not a part of G-Unit after that, but he was listed as a featured artist on tracks that he had made with the group. The group was already going on a rocky path with Young Buck not being part of G-Unit anymore and Kid Kid joining as a new member until things started to escalate again. In 2014, 50 Cent explained why his collaboration with former G-Unit mates Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks came to an end. Some people, they're like milk, 50 Cent said on The Breakfast Club. They have an expiration date and no matter what you do, they'll spoil after a while. But Tony Yayo didn't like that remark and had a bitter response towards 50's choice of words.
When shit go sour and the money slow up, niggas start tripping. Never bite the hand that feeds you.
Regarding Tony Yayo in particular, 50 Cent claims that his old associate did not mature. Given that he is conflicted with numerous of his former buddies, 50 Cent says he takes time to reflect on his own conduct. Similarly, 50 Cent talked about Banks where he said Banks stopped getting musically inspired after his father's death in 2006 and that he found it difficult to relate to his comrades' grief.
I don't even know, he couldn't even tell you like at any point when you speak to him what the problem is.
That's why in 2014, G-Unit announced their breakup and retirement from music. But G-Unit had to make a mark in history, so they reunited again at the 21st Summer Jam concert with 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck, and Louisiana rapper Kid Kid. They released a song called Nah I'm Talkin' Bout and remixed popular songs by Drake, Trey Songz, and Jeremiah. G-Unit also released an original song, They Talked About Jesus.
I don't give a fuck about a phantom, it's not in my garage. Quick to take a project bitch to a travel lodge.
They published The Lost Flash Drive, a collection of previously unheard tracks, in August of 2016. In 2018, 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks resigned from the group and G-Unit Records after a disagreement with Young Buck. Kid Kid left the group to focus on RLLNR Entertainment, and Young Buck claimed to have composed some tracks but never received credits. G-Unit currently has 2 rappers, 50 Cent and Tony Yayo, with the others leaving.
Game is the real legacy of G-Unit. No, it's Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and 50 Cent, nigga.
Who do you think was the one at fault for so many fights? Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.